Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. He's Commander Cockings.
Yeehaw!
I was going to do that joke.
Really?
I was going to throw a yeehaw in here somewhere.
Yes! One mind. We are a collective here on Trekyards. Yes, I'm Commander Cockings. He's Captain Foley. Welcome to Trekyards!
And today, in case you can't tell, we're talking about the Texas class from Lower Decks.
Buen Amigos. Not at all failure of a project that didn't at all just damage a starbase heavily, and it was kind of brutal. Season 3 of Lower Decks, I believe. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. First fully automated starship, no crew. It's even reflected in the in the registry, as the A stands for automated instead of experimental. So
You'd think they'd have learned, especially by Picard, because Season 3, don't do the thing that... Anyway, alright Stuart, we're going to look at this. We mentioned it on live recently. You mentioned it. I was like, yes, let's talk about it in a full way, because you didn't realise they'd been released in Star Trek Online as an up-detailed or brought to modern day. So here is it from Lower Decks. We noted the limitations at the time. Phaser strips are just a block. but it looks nice, right? It's just a bit simple and a bit basic, but still nice. So here's how it appears in Star Trek Online. We'll get into our renders in a moment. Any first reactions before we get close and 4K? At least for us.
I like the design of this. It looks aggressive. I think it's a fine design. Let's be fair. So
we'll see how we felt orthographically, because neither of us have had a chance to orthographically look. But yeah, so you can go play it in stone now. But here's the first render. So there it is, the full detail version in our classic format and style. So this is a post-Nemesis robot ship that I guess because it's not a combat ship, but I guess it's just designed to do things that other ships would normally do and therefore save crews from more important missions, I guess was the logic.
Yeah. I would assume it'd be good for combat, though. Let's be fair, because it's automated, so if you lose one or two, you don't have to worry about crew dying. Plus, you can probably perform maneuvers you couldn't perform in a regular ship. I don't know.
A la Flea ship from Enterprise. Crazy maneuvers.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a unique thing to look at, in the vein of what it can and can't do, right? But I like this. I mean, Stowe is renowned for sort of up-detailing and adding back on the elements that need to be there. Simple as there's a real phaser strip, and there's a real phaser strip warning signage that all adds so much elevation to it. How do you think she feels with all that sort of applied?
Oh, very, very good. Yeah. The STO guys do a really good job with that, and it definitely feels more... Well, I mean, the Lower Decks animation style just has what appears to be blocks there, but that looks fine too to me. But this is more technically accurate. So I am seeing what appears to be, or looks like it could possibly be, escape pods. But
yes,
I would assume this ship is not very large. So, and I would assume you could have a crew on board as far as technicians making sure everything's running fine. But
yeah, I had noticed that despite doing the renders. Star Trek Online has its own slight logic, so there are slight skews, but they do tend to reflect how it is. But I guess if you're playing it in the game, you're not playing an automated ship. You are in the ship piloting it, so they had to kind of... they are very small considering the size of the ship. They feel like the Enterprise E, they are bigger per part of the ship, so that makes us feel giant. Yeah, they should be twice or three times the size, shouldn't they, really?
Mm-hmm. Assuming that's what they are. They're not colored the same as escape pods. They just kind of have the shape of what could be an escape pod door or something.
The one thing that in this version speaks to me is how absolutely tiny the RCS thrusters are. Again, for a ship this size that is designed to be maneuverable, you would think they'd be more present, because they're really freaking small. I'm kind of shocked how small they are.
Yeah, again, we're not quite sure the size, so I don't know if you need larger ones, but yeah, you would think larger ones would equal more maneuverability.
I mean, you've got space, right? But they're just so fleeting, because if I was doing automated, I would have bigger and more to kind of imply we've got loads of ultra maneuverability. I'm surprised.
Yeah. And it does appear that there could be some kind of shuttlecraft or shuttle bay door on the sides, each side there. That kind of gives that vibe to me, Or at least drones or something. Not shuttles, because...
Drones inside a drone. Oh dear. we're getting. I would assume that they would be work bee themed, easy, open the doors, go in, fix things. You know, maybe even kind of like the NX-01 in theory, the warp, the warp core, the engine room can slide out the back. There's parts for that. So if you're designing a ship that can't be manually fixed in a way that a normal ship can, then if you have modules that can just be slid out, like that's the computer core and it comes out the left giant hatch, right? Then you could replace it with a new one. So you kind of have to. So you'd need access points, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
But it does look, I would say, a lot better than Lower Decks, but not because it was bad. It's just because this feels grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
And yeah, there are like escape pod details on the top there that are gold as well. And then you got the transporter emitters there too.
Picture 2, yeah, this is a really interesting view. Is it sharper than it felt? Because I don't remember there being those back second plate like inlayers on the nacelles, which give it sort of a sharpness I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, well, I like that though. It looks like they got impulse engines built into the back of the nacelles.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to put them in this? Many places. No.
Well, it looks like there's one on the edge of the saucer there, just under the one nacelle. Yeah, I love the detail of the rear photon torpedo tubes, rear phaser strip there. It looks really nice.
It's weird because that feels like a scale indicator, because they're kind of a standard size. And the escape pods be real small, it feels like, anyway.
They could have just put them on us because it's something people expect to see on a starship. So.
Now, this looks nice. I mean, I'll be honest, I am missing a bridge module where you can see a bridge module could be. And it'd be nice if that came as standard, you could turn it off. Because, you know, boom, manual bridge.
I was going to say, it'd be cool to be able to dock a bridge in there with an actual crew of like 6 bridge crew that can then take control of the ship and operate it that way.
This is entirely not what's happening, but I'm picturing that top bit kind of like a motherboard where those are the connection points and you can slip a bridge into that sort of hexagon shape, and then those 5 back grills are all like the connectors inside a computer, and so you can put sort of the kind of B deck on that, and that has direct communication to the ship, because you have to like, you know, more than just a bridge. So you've got like a 2-room control center. Don't know why you'd need that. You really wouldn't. But I see that thinking, yes, function.
Yeah, or have it come up alongside a station or a ship and like dock to that and get new programming, new orders, new updates. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird talking about an automated ship because it kind of removes a lot of the normal stuff we would talk about. There's no windows on this ship. You don't need them.
Yes. Oh, my goodness, yeah.
So,
which is funny because that's always such an important part for us, but my brain knew it didn't need them, so it auto didn't look for them and still felt right. Oh, I love that. But it would have been very interesting, though, as we just said a few times, like maybe a ring of windows in one specific zone to say, that's got a corridor, that's got some rooms. That'd have been kind of cool. I mean, it's a good view. I like it. This is a good thing. The bottom, though, now, what do you think of the bottom? Because it's definitely missing something.
The pennant and the delta look nice. You see the front forward tubes there. Again, you got something that could be a bay of some sort. I'm kind of missing a deflector on this. Which
yes. You do need that.
Seems a little odd. It also seems like it could possibly be, well, if it's the size we think it is, which is small, easily landed, because you got all those plates on the bottom that you could just rest on, or have those even extend out. So
kind of like just a really structurally sound way of doing it. Because often we judge them for that doesn't feel distribution wise make sense. Because I am looking at the episode, it looks like it's still a pretty big ship. So maybe it's bigger than we remember. Yeah, I mean, it's next to Cerritos, and Cerritos is a giant ship, and the saucer is certainly as tall as a Cerritos saucer, which is many decks. So yeah, maybe it's actually a really big ship.
I wouldn't have thought that initially. So,
but I guess if you're going to build a drone ship, build it big enough to do something. You know, I mean, you're only limited by amount of warp power and such, and if you make it bigger, you can put a bigger warp core, etc.
You'd also think it'd be good for evacuations as well. Like if you need to send a ship to a planet that's got some kind of dangerous radiation, you gotta extract some people. Why risk a crew going in when you can just send a ship in, have the people load on board, and then get them out. So they're still affected by the radiation, but you're not putting anyone else at risk.
Yeah, but then you need, internal volume, like dedicated space, a literally empty space. But yeah, every ship should have a evacuation limit, even if it's, some. But I'm very intrigued by those bottom, because obviously in the low decks version, I do recall looking at this and thinking it's just flat panels, and the artist has put those red triangles. Now they mean something very specific. Normally, here is something. So are they implying that all the panels open and something comes out? I suppose so.
It almost seems like it'd be an indicator of a ramp, like the red arrow is where it goes down. So that's like the... I don't know.
And torpedo launchers come from the top, between two of the glowing grills. But I like the idea of landing legs. That's kind of fun. But yeah, the way they've certainly amped the detail up does help a lot here. Next view back involves engines, of course. Oh, there's cut-ins. Oh, I didn't realise that. And some distinct under nacelle greebling, which is odd.
Again, those look like doors of some kind. Those could be for ejecting warp coils if you need to.
Well, I don't know why you'd need to, but I like the idea.
I have no idea either, but it seems like there's some functionality to those that they'd be put there. Maybe they're power packs. You just pull it out and slide in a new one to power this thing.
Because the rules are just different for this, so you can think a bit more wild. Yeah, I mean, maybe the thing is designed to push the warp coils hotter, if they want it to burn out, and therefore you can kind of shift them into that and eject them. But even so, the sizing wouldn't make sense. But that's interesting. Then you've got a sort of Voyager-like greebly bank, bottom back. It's basic, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't do much, but, bit of tech is appreciated.
I like the details on this. It's simple, yet it's not, and it's a good blend of both.
It's like one step removed from too simple.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, might be the low decks one.
I think if there hadn't been those greeblies on the bottom, it would just been smooth. It would have been like, it could have used to have some greeblies in there. So,
yeah. There's certainly there's not really anything going on down there. So yes, it helped, and a lot of phasers. I do like the phaser. Or they could do with a belly phaser strip like the Galaxy and the Voyager, and that'd be kind of nice. But Stuart, things often fall down or rise with Orthographic. Are you ready? Well, we could never have seen from the show. Bam! Top and bottom.
It loses something for me with these views. This is so simple. Like, it's such a simple view. But I think it loses some kind of panache, some kind of punch this way. But I don't know. The cutout in the front of the ship is very interesting. Like, that's a choice. You could have just filled that in, and to not have a deflector in that bottom area as well seems just odd to me. It's almost aggressive. Looks aggressive for the sake of looking aggressive, which is kind of the point, kind of the point of it in the episode, because it's just a bad guy ship essentially.
Which starts as a good guy ship, so it kind of twists over. I mean, it all started with the Nova. Why is that cut out there? Add a deflector. Couldn't you have made it integrated? Yes. Didn't you know? But it looks great, right? So I have no problem with that conceptually. I am missing the deflector. That said, I mean, while I think we assumed the three glowing elements we haven't even talked about are scanners, kind of kit style for the robot inside, with like redundancy, they could be three micro deflectors, which I'm fine with. So they are right there. But the bottom for me does certainly... The top I think is great. I love the layering. The blue glows feels like that all comes together. The bottom needs something else. I don't often campaign for coils like other places, but I probably would have added bottom coils. That probably would have fleshed out the shapes a bit more.
Yeah. The bottom does feel simple.
And imagine if there was a Defiant style hangar drop bay, that distinct door, and that was the distinct way you got in. That'd have been kind of cool. Ooh, how would this look with Defiant? Like, you cut the nacelles off and add Defiant style pod nacelles.
That'd be interesting. It would almost seem like one of the concepts for the Defiant. There's like 5, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could definitely do something like that.
I'm really surprised the way the shape of the bottom kind of reveals that the primary hull elongates into two cut-in. Like that, I had no idea that was the shape. What an odd choice. I like it, but it's not a choice.
And very thick, robust struts as well. They're so short and close to the hull that you wouldn't think they would need to be that. They're chunky. They're beefy.
They want to survive. And also, for a ship that's automated, 3 sets of transporter emitters on the bottom. That's a lot. That is a...
And
for
one
such a
set
small
on
ship.
top. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Simple, but cohesive. Although, is it an optical illusion? Are those nacelles actually straight or not? Because the bottom nacelles look straight. The top, are they curving in slightly?
Yeah, they lean in slightly.
But let's look at the other 3 views, which are very different. The side, front, and back. Thoughts?
I'm just going to correct what I just said. They lean out slightly. I thought they leaned in, but they leaned out, as you can tell here.
You heard it here first, guys.
No, I like all of these views, honestly. The side view is actually quite impressive. You can see that beefed up to a bigger ship with that kind of profile would look great. And the front and back is very simplistic. It kind of get a Cylon or a Kit vibe from those lights in the front.
It's got to be intentional, right?
Yeah. And even the grillion looks like teeth. Like it's a
yes.
face.
Yeah, it does.
Back looks really robust and nice as well.
Yeah, it's funny. The back feels super detailed because every greebling is kind of like aft-facing. I don't know about you, but I see both of the front and the back, and I think the Marauder from the Starfleet Command games, the Orion Pirate, the grey one that we looked at recently, very similar nacelles and the way they're framed, really reminds me of the front and back view, which I like their ship. It's like, I super see this.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, those things on the back of the nacelle might not be impulse engines, even though they have more of an impulse engine glow than what are actually the impulse engines, where it's a darker red. It's just an odd choice. Like, I love STO because they usually put in like impulse engines incorporated into the struts of ships. I have no problem with them being on the end of the nacelles. I know the nacelles don't cause thrust. So,
I have some problem, but it's okay.
Well, in a ship that's small, that's automated, I don't have a problem with it.
Unless it's Cerrito size and the giant.
Well, yeah. What else would they be in? It's that red detail then.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the front and back I saw in my mind's eye. The side I'm kind of surprised about. Does that make sense? Based on other views, like it's flatter, it's more curved than I was expecting. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
I'm kind of surprised you more.
But I do like that basic silhouette from the side. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like all the views. Which actually doesn't happen that often when we look at orthos. There's always something that lets it down. No, this is... Yeah. But let's look at some more sort of interactive detail shots. We've got a weird shot from the front, how you might see it coming over you, Lacerina, coming over you sort of Shinjo style from Never Discovery, like, hello, I'm going to save you. Like, that's the kind of shot I made here. How does this one feel? So I think it feels kind of menacing, actually.
It does feel menacing, yeah. It also feels very non-Starfleet. If it wasn't for those deltas, I wouldn't have known. Just because it feels aggressive and it doesn't have the monikers of a Federation design here, because you can't see the nacelles. It just feels maybe Dominion-like, bug-like. I don't know.
I would say pre-Cylon. I think you said that previously, but there's something about the curvature gives it a Cylon feel. And yeah, those teeth, because it really is. But shuttle bay, it's like, that doesn't... Because if that's a shuttle bay, I don't think it's just a single room. That's a lot of the secondary slat bit of the hull. I don't know.
I don't think it's a shuttle bay. It doesn't have any details that would necessarily say that.
It's more the colour that says shuttle bay, but yeah.
If it had a split right in the middle, like an actual black line, or if they were the uniform shape, they're kind of like an odd shape as well. So,
I mean, honestly, it would be very interesting to see this with the black slits glowing blue, and be the deflector.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could. I mean, you'd probably want a middle bit as well to kind of accent the detailing, but I think that could work. It's a very logical place for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this choice to do this implies that they had something in mind, because it is lacking a deflector. Let's be honest, unless there's one of those small ones on top.
I like it. Next view is sort of the same, but the reverse in the back. I mean, that's very Starfleet. Like, that feels like loads of other ships. I'm not sure which ones, but lots. I really, yep, I know it. Vibe from this.
It's kind of reminiscent of the Archer class, the small little...
and kind of like the half saucer for Enterprise, somewhat. Which, I mean, they're all era-dependent ships. They would all be looked at in history books, right, to pull inspiration from. What do you think about the warp coils be kind of like square cutouts? Like, it's I mean, lower poly count for the lower deck show makes sense. What do you think about that translated to this form? Because it's kind of distinct.
I don't mind it. It feels very simplistic. It feels very video gamey. Dare I say?
I would happen to say, I think you'll probably agree, it feels more like a Raven era of nacelle because of how blocky it is. I mean, more fancy, but this is meant to be ultra brand new, and they do not fit that bill in the same way. But I also wouldn't want to see sovereign nacelles. I commend them for new nacelles. You need new nacelles. Stop ripping off E's, right? They're lovely, but do more things. So it's kind of a, yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And last, we have a kind of an interesting sort of detail beauty kind of a perspective, and which I think does highlight the details really well.
I like the glowing elements on top. Those give a life to it almost, even though it's not. It's itself alive. It doesn't anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And also, I believe in the episode they go from a color to red, etc. So there's a very on the nose, but that's okay.
Red equals evil, as we find it in Prodigy as well, with the battle at the end of season.
Yeah, they go from blue to red. Yeah, yeah. But no, I like it. I mean, I think it's funny because it's such a, in a sense, a by the books ship, but it's a different book. So it's like it makes sense to me, but also it's so different. But that connects. I appreciate it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it works pretty well. Will I do a few things? Yes, but it's solid. I really appreciate Stowe's improvements, up detailing, adding things. It really brings it to life.
Mm-hmm. And I like the idea, the concept of a artificially intelligent, like guided ship, but at the same time, it's just a drone. It's AI, which is dangerous in and of itself. So I like what they were doing. I like the idea.
Yeah, dangerous. Stop doing. Yeah. At least make the turn it off button really like built in. Unturn offable, as in the AI turn off, because that was the big flaw.
Yeah. So this is kind of a neat look at a non-typical yet very typically designed Starfleet vessel. So let us know in the comments section what you thought about this. What you thought about our thoughts. If you have any thoughts of your own, throw them in the comment section. Be sure to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed so you can join us for these edited videos as well as our lives where we get to hang out with you guys and chat all things Star Trek.
And if you're from Texas, do you think the ship makes you feel at home? Are you proud of the ship? Representing via AI death ships. And if you want to support us, what we do here on Trekyards every week, and often every day, or at least most days, then Patreon is a superb way. Bit of support every single month via donations, or you can go on YouTube and click the join button, similar to Patreon, be some different perks, or you can one-time donation via PayPal, which is trekyards@hotmail.com, or Super Chat on our live. We discuss ships, tech, characters, episodes, all different things, and you Super Chat gets your voice heard, gets you in the conversation, and often can sort of skew us off a whole tangent that we end up loving or hating. Mostly loving. It's up to you.
That's right. So until next time, he is, I think, a human, Commander Cockings.
Yeah. I convinced you, didn't I? I'm very convincing. That's good programming. He is Captain Foley.
Definitely human.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.